Oh, hello, and welcome to another Today's Decay, September 10th edition, where we celebrate births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time, on whatever happened on this day, throughout history. And on this day, we have some good pairings of things here. From the Empowered Women section, we have Mary Laveau was born on this day in 1794, dubbed the Queen of Voodoo. She lived to the ripe old age of, I don't know the math, but if she was born in 1794, she didn't die till I think 1881, so like into her 90s or something. And really kind of walked this really fascinating line between tradition and comforting people, and yet revolt and rebellion, and like it's all there in one. And she was like respectable and yet not, and was, and like exciting. And also on this day in 1890, Elsa Schiaparelli was born, who was a fashion designer who worked with a lot of the surrealists, Jean Cocteau, Man Ray, Salvador Dali, Lenore Feeney. She did all sorts of exciting stuff, collaborations, but much of her own as well. That 39 World's Fair Expo that Salvador Dali was involved with, I feel like a lot of that was her. I mean, she put her stamp all over it. Yeah, really far out designs. Speaking of far out, on this day in 1901, Schlitzie the Pinhead was born. Schlitzie is, I guess, is he most famous for his role in Freaks? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, he just becomes like one of the group, I suppose, but he definitely has a front and center role, I feel like. Born here in New York in the Bronx, I believe, and performed in Coney Island, in like the golden age of Coney Island. And I watched this really great documentary on him a while ago, and all these guys, or a lot of them, have like such sad, bittersweet lives that you wonder, like, if they grew up in a different time, what it would be like. Drastically better or worse? I don't know. I know Schlitzie had an unmarked grave for a very long time, and up until, I think, in the last decade or two, maybe, they were able to get a gravestone put in place. Which is nice. Always good to be remembered, especially on your birthday, like today, September 10th, right? Also on this day, the X-Files premiered in 1993. I think I was watching television, watching the X-Files the day it premiered. And I still don't know if we ever got all the answers, did we? A little frustrating. It's almost like Lost, but don't get me started on Lost. Speaking of getting lost, on this day in 1994, The Tick premiered, the cartoon series based on the Ben Edlund comic book. Big fan of the comic book, big fan of the original TV show, with like Pineapple Pocopo and Chairface Chippendale. I mean, the whole thing is really good. And I have a really good story for all you kids listening at home. Don't do this, much like the summer school thing. I was going with friends, way out east into Suffolk County, Long Island, into the sticks of Nowheresville. Past Hicksville, even. Nowheresville. It's a little Long Island humor for you. Anyway, point is, so we're going to this music festival out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. I don't remember where was it. Deer Park, Points East, somewhere like that. I don't know. Kings Park, whatever. Point is, we had nowhere to park because we didn't have a car. We got off the train and just we're just standing there thinking like we don't know where to go next or how far it is to get to the show. And some random guy and his wife in like their minivan was like, "Hey, you guys, are you going to that rock and roll show?" And we're like, "Well, that's our plan." He's like, "Hop on in, I'll drive you there. You look like you're going there. Come on, I'll take you." So, don't do this, but I'm glad I did, because don't ask me how we got started talking about this, but it turned out this random guy was the guy that wrote the music for the introduction to the Tick cartoon show. And so here, with like these total strangers, and we're like a carload of people are like singing or humming or whatever, like the Tick theme song with like the guy that wrote it. Because I like freaked out immediately, and I was like, because I used to record all them on VHS because they were like on really early. They were on like I think 10:30 in the morning on Saturdays, and I was never up in time for it. So meanwhile, here a whole bunch of people with complete strangers with a guy that wrote the music, doing like duck twee da 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 twee dow, duck twee da 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 twee dow, twee da 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 twee da 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 twee da 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 twee da da da. Like, you know, it keeps going, and it's really good. And yeah, don't do that, except in this one case. Anyway, what's for tomorrow? Only time will tell. Till tomorrow, folks.